Last night I dreamt that I was in the planet of the apes, and I was the last human left that had some kind of humanity left in them. And I saw very quickly how the humans who were captured and in chains, they were very quick to reciprocate all different forms of negativity. But as soon as I showed them love, affection, like steadfastness, and just genuine interest in them, they couldn't reciprocate it. They couldn't reciprocate. And the apes took advantage of that. And we were all now chained together. And I was trying to help people get unchained because I knew that there was a way to get unchained, but the humans, they would only respond to negativity. And this is exactly how it feels on semen retention sometimes. It's like people will only respond to the negative stuff in the world. I mean, that's what gets views, that's what get likes and all that. And I do want to welcome everybody to another Semen Retention Sunday episode here on the Regal Change account, because we're going to go deeper into this and we're going to dive deeper into why nothing really feels the same on semen retention. And it's because you realize that life is the epic video game that you never really knew that it was, but you always knew that it was. And there's a differentiation between the self and the ego, or the persona, that you start to really digest more of. And once you are able to conquer lust, and you're able to see that this life that we live is far more beautiful and far more auspicious and gracious, and the superfluousness that is emanating from it is simply not needed. There's a lot of superficiality and surface level things that are emanating from people, and they don't even realize. It's like some of these people will be reciting things that they've heard, and it sounds like they know what they're talking about, but they're just reciting information. And I think this is one of the reasons why Carl Jung says, beware of wisdom that you do not earn. Because if you are playing with wisdom that you haven't earned, then you, by definition, are going to be attacked by that same wisdom. And you might not even realize it. You might project that negativity onto others for no reason. And this is why I'm always checking myself. I'm always checking myself to ensure that I am not the person that is projecting, because I know that just as much as anybody else, I'm capable of being fallible. I'm not an infallible being. I'm not Jesus Christ himself. And this epic video game that really happens, I mean, you can level up your skills, you can level up your lifestyle, you can level up your games, like the games that you play. And I don't mean games as in like manipulation tactics. I mean the games of life. You can level up your career, your relationships, etc. And there's always going to be a reason behind that. There's always going to be a reason for your leveling up. You don't stay at the bottom for no reason. Or actually, I mean, I suppose you could look at it like you stay at the bottom for no reason. There's no real reason to stay at the bottom. And everything feels different, and everybody really feels different around you on semen retention, because you're holding a different kind of energy, and you're seeing that there's a sense of grace that comes with this practice that you did not even know that you were capable of having. And a lot of people believe that the instinct to be sexually active is something that is to be repressed on semen retention. And even in the Regal Change Academy recently, we had someone ask, why do I have more crazy dreams and sex dreams and thoughts when I'm on a longer streak? And it's like, well, because you're letting go of all that pervertedness from beforehand. You probably fried your brain with corn for so long, with so much different types of corn, that you now are to the point to where your mind is deprogramming that, and you're now getting those lustful attacks. Those lustful attacks will increase naturally on longer streaks, but the capacity for you to be able to see through it for longer is going to be higher. And you're going to be able to see it like as if you were in an airplane, is the analogy that I usually give. I give this analogy of, you're in an airplane looking down at the trees, the trees of lust. And instead of the trees of lust being right in your face here on the ground, the trees of lust are really, like, they're still on the ground, but you're just in such a high altitude of spirit that it can't really affect you the same way. It's not to say that you can't be tempted, because of course there's temptations. And it's almost as if the longer that I go on the semen retention journey, because I've been doing this since May of 2022. It'll be 4 years here in a few months, which is kind of bizarre to think about. But it's been the most precipitous time of my life. It's been the most interesting time of my life, and there's nothing ominous about it either, because you see life more fully. And I swear that life becomes more psychedelic every single day. There are days where it feels as if it's been 10 years and simultaneously 2 seconds, because so many things are happening and so many things are moving so fast that it seems like it's been forever and not that long at the same time. And it's very psychedelic in that way, but it's also, you feel things so much more deepler, or deeper. I guess deeper. I kind of like that word, actually. It's deepler. It's you feel things more deeply and deeper. That's definitely something that you feel is, and that's really one of the reasons why nothing feels the same. But everybody feels different around you, and everybody feels something around you on semen retention, is because you're opening a portal to the divine if you are acting in accordance to God's law, statutes, and commandments. But here's the thing that I've seen a lot recently with people, and this is something that I really it's so frustrating to see, quote unquote, Christians and the way that they behave and the way that they act. And it's like, you have had the opportunity to be like Jesus Christ, and you blew it. You blew it. You didn't even come close. It's exactly what my dream was like last night, where I'm on the planet of the apes, and the humans can only reciprocate negative energy. That's what it feels like. A lot of the people out here that claim to be Christian can really only truly reciprocate negative energy. They actually don't have love to give. They don't have the love of Christ to give, even though they call themselves Christians. And that's something that I think is it's tumultuous terrain for sure, because it's hard to express that to people who believe that they're in the truth. Like, it's just sad, because these are the same people who, again, they have the opportunity to reciprocate anything apart from negative energy, and it's almost as if they act in this way. They act in a way that they think that they're supposed to, rather than just being what God made them to be. It's not even what they're supposed to. It's like they think that they have to act in a certain way in which they are supposed to act, rather than where you just be what God made you to be. It's just, you just be, right? Like, you even hear this from the gurus of the Eastern religions. It's like, you don't give love, you just be love. And I think that's true. I think that the framing is not technically accurate, but I think for the most part, yeah, that's very true. You don't act with love to give. Of course, there is, giving of love, but you just be it. And by natural being, you're going to be reciprocating. You're going to be able to do these different kinds of things. And I think that with semen retention, and as you develop your relationship to God, because that's really what it's all about, you can get a lot of different kinds of women. Of course, the women will absolutely come, and that came out wrong, but but I mean, it's true. They will show up in your life. They will show up in your life for sure, and they will not want to go away. And yet, as soon as you conquer the lust, as soon as you conquer it, of course it's going to be still there, but it's not going to have the same stronghold on you, right? You're just going to see it for what it is. You're just going to see it and think to yourself, oh, these women really don't have too much to offer. And I hate when I hear women say, men only want one thing. It's like, listen, woman, you only have one thing to offer. That's what this is. And us men, we're not scared of commitment. That's another thing I hate to hear from women. Oh, men are they're just insecure of commitment and afraid of commitment. No, it's not that we're afraid of commitment. It's just that we're afraid of committing to a whore. That's what we're afraid of. We're afraid of committing to hoes and whores that, there are going to be the mother of our children, quote unquote. No, that's what we're afraid of, lady. We're afraid of that. We're not afraid of you. Okay, we're not intimidated by you. I don't know any actual godly man that's ever intimidated by a woman. Most of them are repulsive. Most of them are repulsive, and that's just the way that it is. And again, even the women, they can only reciprocate negative energy. So many people are only able to reciprocate negative energy. It's absolutely nuts. And we're expected as godly men to just take it because, oh, well, we're godly. It's like, no, that's not what the Bible teaches. And it's not what's instinctual or intuitive to men in any shape or form. We are not built to, have you ever noticed, this is something I learned on semen retention. If a woman isn't obsessed with me in some way, I kind of lose attraction for her. I just kind of do. If she's not simping for me, let's say, right? If she's not simping for me, she could be hot, but I don't really find her attractive, And it's not to say that there are some women out there that will not be able to even talk to you. Some women will see you as an attractive, godly man, and they don't know how to approach you. They don't have game, bro. Women don't have game. They only know how to look pretty. And even then, even then, with the fake eyelashes and all the makeup and such, and the fake, the fake boobs and fake butts, and it's like, who told you that this is the way? Who said that? This is something that I just don't understand. I don't understand why you'd think that you look better. I think women look better when they're a little bit slim and they're not like bulky. They don't need to be ripped. Uh, they. I don't really care for women that are super curvy anymore. Like, sure, like it doesn't really bother me too much, but at the same time, I don't really care for it. I used to really like curvy women. I used to really like curvy women, and now it's kind of yeah. I like sure, yeah, it's nice curves, but I just like a regular normal woman that looks like she has her proportions. It's like if for her body type, her proportions are the way that they are. There's nothing abnormal about it. Because some of these women, they will do leg day. And it's the same type of thing for men. Like, I think a lot of men will work their upper bodies and not their lower bodies, for example, right? And oh my gosh, I just thought about something else with like leg day on semen retention. Maybe I ought to make a leg day video with semen retention, because a lot of men don't do leg day when they're on semen retention because it increases temptations. And the reason for that is because the blood flow is actually, going down, and it'll make you a little bit more horny, but that's actually not a bad thing. It's just that if you don't have the vessel to contain that energy, yeah, you're going to lose out. You're going to miss out on the overall message that your body's trying to tell you there. And I've always found that the best way to deal with the temptations is just accept them. Just accept the temptations, and they really don't have the like power over you anymore. Once you accept the temptations for what they are, they don't have power over you. So just be mindful of that, right? Just be mindful of that and recognize that you don't have to live with fear consistently and constantly all the time of temptation. Okay, you can just accept it, that it's going to be a part of life, because it is a part of life. But with men, that they'll work their upper body and their proportions look weird, and women will do the same thing but with their lower body. They'll have like these huge gadonkadonks in the back, and up above it's like what happened? Like do you only do legs? Because it's just like, who told you this is going to look good other than Instagram? But anyway, the point is that I'm just more about natural things on semen retention. I just don't care for the unnaturalness. I don't care for it. Like, sure, it's interesting to look at simply because it's like, what the fuck is that? Because you can kind of tell when a woman has like fake breasts, for example, and you're just like, what the like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? Because it just looks weird in my opinion. Okay, in my opinion, I'm just not about fake things. And on semen retention, it's like you're just naturally repulsed by fake things and fake people. And unfortunately, most people are fake. It's just the way that it is. Most people are fake, and most people don't want to take accountability, and they can't reciprocate true compassion because they are more worried about their appearance than they are about their relationship with God. And the thing is that you don't need to be super obsessed with following the law, statutes, and commandments to just follow the law, statutes, and commandments. Again, it's just about being. Once you internalize it, it's not like an issue. You can internalize this stuff, because again, you just be it. Once you read it enough, like once you read the Bible enough, and you get the message that Jesus is saying, and you internalize the message of Jesus, you just start to be love, right? You just start to be it. And some people are just not going to be able to reciprocate. and some people are not going to be able to hear you and or see you, really. Because sometimes it'll feel like on semen attention, you start to realize, and this is only compounded upon itself through time for myself, is that you start to realize that many people just like they don't hear and they don't see, and it's not their fault. It's just that's where they're at, and you just have to accept that and recognize that you kind of have to just leave people where they are in their consciousness sometimes. So, with all that being said, I hope this message was useful and insightful for you. Sign up for the Godlike Master Initiation program that I have. If you have the financial resources as well as the time commitment to do so, because that's really what I want to do and focus on for the next couple months going into 2026. And if you do want to schedule a one-on-one, we can do that as well. Or you can schedule and join a call with the Regal Change Academy, and we can get on a call to start beforehand, or you can just sign up for the free tier. Okay, sign up for the free tier in the Regal Change Academy. We have the free tier and the premium tier. Premium tier gives you access to the calls and the classes, whereas the free tier just gives you access to the community. But either way, we vet pretty heavily at this point with the Regal Change Academy. Not everybody's going to make it into there, even the free tier, because there are certain standards that we want to have. And it's not to say that I don't want people in there. At the same time, I just want the right people for the group in there. And because it's growing ever more clear to me that a lot of people are still dealing with a lot of different things, and that's okay. That's what we're there for, and that's what the community is there for, is to exchange ideas and be grounded in Christ, but also not be emotionally or spiritually coerced or anything of the sort into believing or doing anything. And as soon as I see that from people, I think to myself, okay, yeah, no, that's not good. That's not good. I don't want to force anybody into anything, and I don't want anybody in there to force anything on other people. So, with all that being said, I hope you all have a blessed day. Stay blessed. Peace. And until next time.